How do you guys? Welcome back. Today I am in, give me 2 seconds to get across this. Oh, I'm going for it. That's wet there. Today I am back in Dumfries and Galloway and I'm doing a wee overnighter on the Merrick, but I'm not taking the normal route. I'm going round the southern face because there's something I want to see there. But there's a couple of wee bits of kit as well that I want to test out that I've got over the festive period. But I'll tell you more about that once I pass Coolsharg Bothy. But yeah, I've got a couple of bits of kit that Santa brought over the Christmas period and I got myself, and I'm going to test them out. So I've got a new tent and a new sleeping mat, and I just want to see how they fare for upcoming adventures on the hills. But yeah, I'll crack on and I'll bring you back when I've found this other thing that I want to see before the climb. The map has this down as a path or a track, but all it is just boggy grass. Oh, geez, some deep bits as well. But it is nice down here in the woods. Oh my god. Like I say, it's just bog everywhere. But hey, this is the route. Let's press on. That up there is the path that I was on, and it's continued out the woods and it's ended there. I thought this was all going to be trees, but it's obviously been felled, so I should have just stayed on that path until it ended. It would have saved me all that bog trotting. Hey ho, we live and learn. So up here we've got Ben Yellery, and then round to the right the Merrick is up behind there, so that's where I'm heading, into that cloud. As you can see, the sun is setting, so I've probably got about another hour and a bit of decent light, so I'm just going to press on and get to the top of the Merrick. It might be a case of finding this thing that I want to see in the morning, but we'll see if I can find it en route. So I've still got to go through here, up this ridge line and up to the summit of the Merrick, which is in the cloud there. It's generating all this cloud. The light is fading, but my god, that's some view behind me. I doubt that'll make it to the top in daylight. However, I've got my head torch and everything, so we're good to go. I've just set off too late, that's all there's been. Plus, coming through all that behind me there, because of the forestry that's been going on, there's different tracks, so it's constantly stopping, checking which turning, because there's only one track on the map, and that basically isn't there anymore. So I'm now heather bashing through this kind of track, and I've got about 400 and something metres of climb to do over about 2 kilometres. So I think I just whistled then. So better press on or it is going to be dark. So yeah, all I've got to do is now, at this point I'm just about to swing a left, head north and start to climb into the Merrick. But there's all this fog and mist has just descended, and you can see it's just rolling in. And we even noticed there's patches of snow along those ridge lines, so there might even be some snow at the top. But yeah, let's crack on and get this tent set up. As you can see, that's the sun just through those clouds. I'm now in this cloud that was forming on the Merrick. I'm now just crossed the 600 metres height point. I have got about a K&a-half now to go over this final 200 metres of height, 250 metres of height. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be a nighttime pitching of the tent, because that light is not going to last long. And I'm now pacing and getting my nav skills on, because I can see a couple of hundred metres at the moment, but in that clag it's going to be down to I'd say 50 metres. So yeah, and you can see the speed of the wind, the way the clouds are going up the hill. It's actually just amazing to be out. Keep getting that sun peeking through. Whew. Good times. As you can see, the light is fading quickly. That's me now into all these wee patches of snow that's left over when they had snow a couple of weeks ago. There's still a fair bit. I have thought about putting my micro spikes on, but I can easily skip around any of the bigger patches. So I'm nearly at the top now. I am at 714 metres, so about another 100 odd so to go. That's in height. This bit here, little last steep bit, and then I should be on almost a plateau and not far from the top. I'm going to have to find a bit of shelter up there as well, because this wind's picking up. But it's all going to be a good test for the tent, so let's press on. I think I see a trig point. Oh, I can see the moon actually, just up there. It's just all this mist. When I was driving in, I could actually see that it was the Merrick that was forming the mist, so obviously the air was hitting it, cooling down and condensing, so it's actually the Merrick that's making the cloud. You can see over there behind me, if this fog wasn't here, I'd still have a good bit of daylight. But yeah, just need to now find a sheltered part on that side, so the eastern side of the hill, and get the tent up. It's not that, the fog isn't that thick to be fair now that I'm here, because I can see the moon, so it must just be little wisps. That's taken me 3 hours, what was it here? 3 hours 45 to do that route. I should have come up the main route, and then I would have had like 2 hours to get up here, but that longer route, and I didn't even get to see what I was trying to find, so I'm going to have to go down that way and find it in the morning. But enough chat, let's get this tent put up. So this is what I'm facing right now. I've got the tent up somewhat. It's acting like a big sail, so I'm going to have to either I'm going to drop it down and then I'm going to have to head off the hill because there's just far too much wind up here. But it's been a good test for the tent because now I know that's what it can do in windy conditions. It's like a big sail. And one of the pegs just popped out, so yeah, not exactly perfect, but I'll pack it away, drop off the hill a wee bit and hopefully get some shelter and get it up. As you can see, conditions are a lot more sketchy than I thought they were going to be, but that's why we come out and do these things, practice. So I've got a bearing from the trig point and I'm heading towards Ben Yellery. I don't think this wind is going to give up at any point on these hills, so I'm just going to keep going, and if I do get to a bit where it's sheltered I'll put the tent up and stay, but who knows. Let's crack on and just get lower off this hill. That's me just over the crest of Ben Yellery. This wind isn't letting up anywhere along here. I thought I might have got some shelter behind that wall, but it's so rocky just underneath it. So I think my plan is to just head back to the car and chalk this one up as a loss. So guys, as you can see, things are taking a turn. I've got down to the car and I know there's a wee spot down here that I thought was quite good, and as I was coming down, the further I was getting off the hill, the weather was getting better and better, more, what's the word, sheltered from the wind. So I thought if I get down to the car and that wee spot's free, I'm actually just going to set everything up down here and spend the night, because it's 9:30 at night now. I've been on the go for 8 hours and I'm absolutely shattered. So what I'm going to do is get some food on the go, pretty much eat everything that I have here because I am starving, get my head down, and then in the morning I'll be able to show you the new kit that I've got, and you can have a look at this tent when it's not getting hammered by the wind. It's not been a wasted trip. I've learned loads about my kit now, and especially this tent, and this is one that will not be coming with me if there's any chance of decent winds. But yeah, until the morning I'll sign off for now, go and get something to eat, and I'll see you in the morning, hopefully to some nice sunrise. Getting myself comfy. So as you can see, I'm clearly not in my tent anymore, and I'm not at the side of Loch Trool. This is a couple of days after my trip up the Merrick, and I'm going to talk about quickly the things that happened and why I decided to leave, pack everything up that night. So when you last saw me, I was in the tent. It was about 9:30 at night. I was getting my food on, so I had my food, and it came to about 10 o'clock, and I laid down thinking that after the day's walking, there was a walking, I was just going to pass out and go to sleep, and I'd wake up refreshed and hopefully get some sunrise views over Loch Trool. What actually happened was my mind just would not shut down. I was just constantly racing things through my mind, mainly about the day, little niggly points that were annoying me, about a couple of things in myself and my own decisions, and I couldn't settle. And it was for about 2 hours until midnight. That's when I made the decision. I'm out of here, just pack everything up in the car and head on home, because I couldn't bear to be there anymore. And it just shows you how strong and how powerful the mind can be. I've wrote a couple of things down here, just to obviously let you know what I was thinking about. And the first thing that annoyed me a wee bit about myself and my own decision was leaving it so late to get down where I was going, which gave me a shorter window of light to get to the summit. And I was hopeful, but in my heart of hearts I knew I wasn't going to get to the summit when it was daylight. But at the same time, I've not got an issue with pitching a tent in the dark. I've got my head torch, I knew how to pitch the tent. I'd obviously tried it at home and tried it at different places before taking it out, because you need to know how everything goes together, because sometimes things are not attached and all that. So it was all ready to go. So I was happy with pitching the tent in the dark. The tent itself, it's a nature hike, Cloud Up one, or it was. It's now gone to the big auction site in the sky, and it's no longer mine. I'm just mainly annoyed at that I'd looked at it last year so much and I thought this is going to be the tent for me because it's lightweight, it's got a fly sheet and an inner, it's a small size when it's packed down, it'll take up less space in my bag, all these kind of things. I thought this is the one for me. And it's a sil nylon, so it's all waterproof and all this kind of everything. I thought this is the stuff. And then my first trip away, it's caught mild winds about 10 to 15 miles an hour, and everywhere I was pitching it, every orientation I was turning it into the wind and everything, just trying, and it just kept catching the wind and flopping over, and it was so annoying, and I'm so annoyed at myself that I've picked that tent, and I couldn't let it settle that night. I just couldn't get it shut out of my mind. I was just so annoyed at myself. Other things though, it's not all doom and gloom. Trips like that also reaffirm the good parts of your kit and your equipment, and for me it showed that I do have the right equipment for the Scottish Hills in those conditions, and also little things that I know how to use that stuff. So when I was at the summit of the Merrick, you saw my visibility was down to about 5 metres, and I've been on that hill before and I know where it is and the orientation where I should be going, but you still need to navigate off the top of it because it's such a featureless hill. You can very easily take the wrong line and wander off down the scars of Ben Yellery or the scars of the Merrick, or if you go down towards the portion to the north, you'll end up down a steeper gully. So having been able to navigate myself off of there, that just reassured that my map reading skills and my navigation in those conditions is still up there. So that was a good point. Also, the importance of knowing your route. So I knew the circuit that I was going, and I knew that from the summit of the Merrick to where I was going back down to the car was about 2.5 to 3 hours worth of walking in those conditions. And it brings me on to the kit to get you off the hill. My head torch, I know that at full power it will run for 2 hours, and I know that on half power or like medium setting it will run for 12 hours. So I know that the kit I've got can get me off the hills when it's on the right settings. So these are that's just a small thing, but these are the things you need to think of, and it's nice to know that I have got that ability, and I can get myself out of those situations. And this might sound trivial and little things, but these are the things you need to think of when you're going a hill walk. Do I have the kit to get me off there? What if this happens? What if that breaks? What if this happens? I mean, what if that battery runs out? Have a charger? All these little things, and just knowing that they were all right is just a big bonus for me. So it wasn't all doom and gloom. But again, these are the things that you can only learn when you're on the hills, and the more time you spend on the hills, the more of these situations you get into. You can tick it, you go, right, that worked there, I need this is the situation I'm going into, so I need that. And this is the things that comes with experience, and I am not by any means some wizardry mountaineer. I don't have all the answers, but for the conditions and the places that I put myself into, I know that I've got the right kit and equipment to get me out of there. So that was a bonus. So to recap, my annoyance was at the tent and that I had left myself short on time to get to the summit for a light for a light time with suitable light to pitch the tent. But I'm also happy that I've got all the kit and equipment to get me out of a situation that might be presented to me on the Scottish Hills. But yeah, that's the trip to the Merrick. Oh, and I wrote down here also the feature that I was going to show you. That's another thing that annoyed me. I wanted to see something that's like a geological feature on the hill, and I didn't get to see it, so that was annoying as well, that I went out there with the intention of seeing something and I didn't get to see it. However, I'll still be there the next time, so I can go back and visit it, and I'll take yous and I'll show yous. But yeah, that was my trip to the Merrick. Lots of things learned from it, and like I say, there's never a day wasted on the hills. You'll always learn something, and I hope that you have from this video. I hope that you take something from it, and not everything on YouTube and everything and Instagram is all perfect. Sometimes things do go wrong, and it's good to see these parts to show that every one of us experiences hardship. But yeah, I hope you've liked it. I hope you've got something from it. And if you have, please give the video a little thumbs up. And if you want to see more of my outings into the Scottish Hills and see how I fare, good and bad, then subscribe to the channel, and I will see you on another hill. And who knows what the conditions will be or how it will turn out. My days, is it windy? But until next time, take care, and I'll see you then.